Good evening. Is the Babri Masjid controversy returning to haunt India and divide people in the run-up to Bengal elections? Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh Sar Sanchalak Mohan Bhagwat has warned that construction of a new Babri Masjid in Bengal will only widen the rift that had effectively been settled with the Supreme Court verdict and the construction of a Divya Bhavya Ram temple at Ayodhya. Bengal ballot and the Babri controversy. Babri 2.0 builder now floats a new political party. Humayun Kabir challenges the BJP and the TMC.
ममता बनर्जी आरएसएस को मदद देने इनको पुलिस अधिकारी लोग मदद देने के लिए 12,000 पूछ किया। भारत का उनका जो अधिकार है मेरा भी उतना ही अधिकार।
RSS red flags a political conspiracy.
फिर से बाबरी मस्जिद बनाकर उस झगड़े को रीस्टार्ट करने का ये पॉलिटिकल षड्यंत्र है।
TMC and Congress hit back at the RSS.
ये RSS का कोई स्टेटमेंट से नहीं कोई उधर ये कंफ्यूजन में वो लोग चाहते हैं हम सब कंफ्यूजन में।
कौन सी विचारधारा है जिसने एक माहौल पैदा कर दिया और ऐसे लोग राष्ट्रवाद के सर्टिफिकेट बांटने में लगे हुए हैं।
Bengal's Babri battle is our top focus on India First. So suspended Trinamool Congress MLA Humayun Kabir's call for the construction of a Babri Masjid. A Babri Masjid in Murshidabad in Bengal is seeing large crowds. Look at those images on your television screen. Now he claims there are thousands who gather there every day with bricks and donation for the construction of a masjid in the name of an invader. Babur invaded India in 1526 and carried out untold atrocities on the people of this land. Humayun Kabir now claims that there are followers who are coming not just from other parts of Bengal, not just from Murshidabad or adjoining areas, but also from Bihar, from Uttar Pradesh, from Jharkhand and even Madhya Pradesh. And he, of course, is taking on both the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. But what does this vote bank politics actually mean? Will it lead to wider fissures in our society, in our country? We debate that. Coming up at 8:30 tonight, trouble mounts in Bangladesh. Another student leader has been shot at in the run-up to elections. There are multiple protests against the Muhammad Yunus regime. The administration is now being accused of creating bad blood with India as diversionary tactics. They're fueling anti-India hate in Bangladesh. India Today's Ashutosh Mishra is on ground zero. He reports from the heart of the action. We get you that report at 8:30 tonight. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started. So on the 6th of December, the foundation stone of a new Babri Masjid was laid in Murshidabad, Bengal by now suspended TMC MLA Humayun Kabir. Thousands flocked to this new Babri construction site in Bengal, and that stirred a hornet's nest. Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh Sar Sanchalak Mohan Bhagwat warned that the construction of this Babri Masjid will only widen the rift in society. The dispute had effectively been settled by the Supreme Court with its verdict in favor of construction of Ram Temple at Ayodhya. The TMC and the BJP have both hit out at Humayun Kabir, who incidentally has floated his own political party now, Janata Unnayan Party, and pledged to field candidates in the forthcoming Bengal assembly elections.
ममता बनर्जी अगले दिन सत्ता में नहीं आएगी।
Suspended Trinamool Congress MLA Humayun Kabir at the center of the Babri Masjid controversy in Bengal has today launched an entirely new political party.
ममता बनर्जी अगले दिन सत्ता में नहीं आएगी। मैं जोर से बोल रहा हूँ जो 100 को पार नहीं कर पाएगी। टीएमसी को लोगों के मुर्शिदाबाद जो चुनाव में उतरेगी वो पराजय निश्चित हो गया।
This after he laid the foundation stone of a Babri Masjid style mosque in Beldanga, Murshidabad on December 6th. Since then, the site has seen weekly Friday prayers, steady fundraising. Funds are being collected openly, with organizers claiming crores raised through cash boxes and digital payments. The Babri Masjid move soon snowballed into a major political flashpoint. RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat termed the Babri Masjid construction in Bengal a political conspiracy aimed at polarization.
अब फिर से बाबरी मस्जिद बनाकर उस झगड़े को रीस्टार्ट करने का ये पॉलिटिकल षड्यंत्र है, मतों के लिए हो रहा है। न ये मुसलमानों की भलाई में है, न ये हिंदुओं की भलाई में।
The BJP echoed Bhagwat's charge, accusing the Mamata Banerjee government of appeasement politics.
ये झगड़ा लगाने का कोशिश है। एक शब्द में मैं बता देता हूँ, झगड़ा लगाने का कोशिश है। ये झगड़ा लगाने का काम करने का जरूरत नहीं है।
Both TMC and Congress hit back, reminding the BJP of the demolition of the original Babri Masjid and accusing it of stoking communal tension.
बाबरी मस्जिद जब वो तोड़ दिया गया था, उनमें कौन कौन थे ये तो सब जानते हैं।
1925 में किस मकसद से आरएसएस बना था और सरदार पटेल ने क्या कहा था जब प्रतिबंध लगाया गया था? 1948 में 3 फरवरी 1948 को सरदार पटेल ने बैन लगाया था आरएसएस को। और ऐसे लोग राष्ट्रवाद के सर्टिफिकेट बांटने में लगे हुए हैं।
With assembly elections just months away and the entry of the new party, the road to 2026 in Bengal will be anything but smooth. With Tapas Sen Gupta, Bureau Report, India Today.
Babur was an invader. Babur was not Indian. He invaded India in 1526. So in 21st century India, is it pure vote bank politics that a mosque is being built in his name, in the name of a cruel invader? And is there merit in RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat saying the construction of a mosque in the name of Babur will only widen the rift? And is it not, and it's not in the interest of either Hindus or Muslims in India? What should one make of Humayun Kabir, the suspended TMC MLA who's floated his own party, now targeting both the TMC and the BJP, and Mamata Banerjee insisting that all of this is aimed at dividing the minorities and that minorities should stand united? Will this impact Bengal elections? Joining me on India First is Radhika Kheda, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party. Monojit Mandal is a political analyst, will also give us the Trinamool Congress thinking. Shikha Mukherjee is a senior journalist. Tushar Gupta is a political analyst and journalist. Monojit Mandal, why does the Trinamool Congress see the construction of a Babri Masjid in Bengal as a BJP conspiracy when Humayun Kabir was a TMC MLA till his suspension? The BJP says thousands would not have come for this mosque foundation or prayers unless there was state approval.
I think you do not probably know the history of this particular person by the name of Humayun Kabir. He left TMC before. He joined
He joined the BJP, joined TMC again, was suspended
defeated. He came back to TMC.
Yes.
And I believe he should not have been accepted by TMC at that point of time. But he profusely apologized to the party, including the supreme of the party. And because of that, I think he was taken back. This person for the last 1 year has been singing the tunes of the other side of BJP. We know in this country that BJP has got some B teams like MIM, which are also known as a kind of vote katua parties. So similarly, BJP wanted to have a person like Humayun Kabir as a vote katua party. Last year also, last election also, they had one particular party which is completely left by Shubhendu Adhikari, that is ISA, which was also actually people say and allege that it's run on BJP's money. I am also charging on this television, on your show, where does the money come from as far as this person is concerned? We get to hear, in fact, this is a political charge made by the Trinamool Congress as well, that
Yes.
Hemanta Biswa Sharma provided 10 crores of fund. Is it true or not? How much money? Where is ED now? ED, CBI. We will
So that's a
support
very
any kind.
grave charge you are leveling. You are
Then,
saying,
why
you
is,
are
no, no, hang
alleging
on,
that
hang on.
Hemant Biswa
Why
Sarma,
is ED?
the Assam Chief Minister, is funding the Babri Masjid
Yes,
in Bengal. Is that your
yes,
allegation, sir? But on
yes,
what
there
basis?
are, this is political, I mean, that's what I'm saying, this is a political charges people are making in Bengal, and this should be inquired into. And in fact, you see the money floating in caches. What is your ED? What is CBI? Where does the money come from? The crores of fund is almost, running like papers.
So
Where
you are
is
saying
it?
there is
Where is
no
CBI?
tacit approval of Mamata
What is
Banerjee
the
for the
sources of
construction
this
of a Babri
fund?
Masjid.
I mean,
Let me get Radhika
I
Kheda.
am
Let me get
asking
Radhika Kheda to respond
BJP
to
and
this.
ED,
Radhika Kheda,
CBI to
that's a
come
very
and
serious
investigate.
charge. Okay, sir, Radhika Kheda, that's a very serious charge that's being leveled. The Trinamool Congress sees this as a BJP conspiracy with BJP funding, according to the TMC and supporters, the construction of a Babri Masjid in Bengal.
Jai Shri Ram. And BJP, even in its worst position, will never be funding a mosque being made, let alone Babri being made again. Let me make this very, very clear on your show today, Gaurav, that jitne Babri banayenge, unka pehle wale Babri jaisa hi haal hoga. This country is not done by Babarnama. Having said that, in Bengal, what we are witnessing today are two parallel strategies that are being deployed by the ruling dispensation and its Indi Thakbandhan. One, manipulation of the ballot. Two, manufacturing communal flashpoints to divert attention, because that is what they thrive on. Now, the so-called Babri Masjid that they are making, it is not accidental. It is timed, it is designed, and it is electoral. Was he sleeping all these years? Why did he not announce it earlier? Let us be absolutely clear on one thing. The Ayodhya issue is legally, constitutionally, and finally settled by the Supreme Court of India. There is no dispute left to resolve, and there is no grievance left to educate. But attempts are now being made in Bengal to resurrect the imagery, the symbolism, and the language. And it's not about religion. It is categorically and clearly about polarization for votes. Because Mamata Banerjee is seeing her ground being removed from right under her, the carpet is just being pulled out because सारे घुसपैठियों के वोट कट चुके हैं. So she had no other option left because that is the vote bank that she depends on. तो ये एक call hai even to the Ghuspaitias and everyone and to polarize the whole thing. She has nothing to talk about when it comes to women's
That's a
security.
grave
She has
counter
nothing to talk
charge.
about our
There's a grave
industrialization.
counter charge. But on the aspect of Hemant Biswa Sarma and the allegation leveled by TMC, I want you to respond to that. But in just a moment, Monojit Mandal, before I bring in Shikha Mukherjee and Tushar Gupta, you want to quickly respond to the fact that this is a TMC tactics, a ploy to polarize elections and ensure that all the Muslims vote for the same ecosystem, as the BJP puts it.
Mr. Gaurav Sawant, I believe you know the history of BJP's rise in this country as a political party. BJP rose to powers and prominence by demolishing Babri Masjid. So what suited their kinds of politics? That's the binary, that's the polarization that they thrive on. Till 1982 and late 1980s, nobody could understand that BJP would come to power in such a way. And it's only because of that famous Ratha Yatra taken by Mr. L.K. Advani, and who was being rather fanned by the present Prime Minister. Mr. Modi used to sit, in front of Mr. Advani, almost looking at the feet of Mr. Advani, fanning him like that during the Ratha Yatra. You can also get that photographs in your archive. That is the famous Ratha Yatra that made BJP what it is today. So this Babri demolition, now it's a reconstruction of the quote-unquote Babri, even not even in terms of what is happening as an architecture, but even in terms of virtual construction of Babri Masjid. Those images will once again help BJP only. There are researches not just in India but across the globe on these. The communal politics, communal polarization. Who stands to gain? BJP. UP,
Okay,
Bihar,
Radhika Kheda
and
wants to
now they are
quickly
trying to do it in
respond
Bengal.
before I bring in Shikha Mukherjee. Radhika Kheda, quickly in 30 seconds, ma'am.
Are you speaking to me? Because the audio is very
Yes,
bad.
yes, Radhika Kheda.
Let me make this very clear to the TMC spokesperson. The Bharatiya Janata Party does not need religious flashpoints to win elections. Our work is enough. We are doing enough work, which is why we are decimating the Indi Thakbandhan everywhere, whether it is the local body polls, it is the Vidhan Sabha polls, or the Lok Sabha polls. We don't need to bank on religion to win election. Modi ji ka jo kaam hai, wo bolta hai, and that is what we've been winning on for the past 11 years. And you are not able to decimate us. So you are trying this very old book ploy to create a fear, to create fear in people, to create a divide amongst people. Because, like I said, Mamata Banerjee has nothing to offer. No
Okay.
industrialization, no jobs, no women's security. She has failed as the home minister. She has failed as a woman chief minister. She has failed every daughter of West Bengal. She has always banked upon the very thing that she resigned in Lok Sabha during the Congress government and threw papers on the speaker's face for saying कि बंगाल में घुसपैठियां हैं. Today she's
Okay.
standing and imagine a chief minister of a state standing and saying, I will see how anyone is sent back to Bangladesh. This is the
Let me
chief
bring in
minister.
Shikha Mukherjee.
No,
Let me
no.
quickly bring in Shikha Mukherjee
Shame on
into
her.
this conversation. Shikha Mukherjee, in a secular state, any individual can build any religious place. But to name it Babri Masjid, do you see suspended TMC leader Humayun Kabir creating trouble in Bengal? What is your reading of the timing just before assembly elections, madam?
I think there is Humayun Kabir has made his point very clear. One is he's going to construct a masjid, and it's going to be a replica of the Babri Masjid. Why? Because he thinks that that is the one way of consolidating a Muslim vote, which he wants to represent. But he's named his party Janata Unnayan Party. In other words, he doesn't want a specifically AIMIM kind of label. So he's hoping to cash in on a, a consolidation of the Muslim votes in Muslim majority districts or in Muslim majority constituencies. And B, he's also trying to create a kind of non-communal label for himself so that he can
Okay.
attract other voters. And look at how he has done it. The reconstruction of the Babri Masjid event, that event on 6th of December, it was straight out of the Ayodhya playbook. You had people carrying bricks, which they had made in their villages to contribute to the foundation laying stone. You had this kind of people coming in and chipping in with their donations. Then you had the kind of mass Quran reading.
Yeah.
So everything is a kind of public performance to galvanize the vote bank he thinks is up for grabs. Whether his thinking is right or wrong remains to be seen. But he is talking about a Muslim vote bank, and he's talking about winning 90 seats and turning himself into a kingmaker in West Bengal politics. Now, if these are his ambitions, then obviously there has to be a partner in crime.
Right.
And the partner in crime would be any party which gets around 70, 60 seats, because then it would be halfway mark. And that kind of makes it very interesting. He cannot align with the Trinamool Congress if it gets if it gets a minority of the seats. The chances of the Congress and the CPM getting any of those, that number is out of the question, which leaves him with only one partner, which is the BJP. And
Very
this is a very
interesting.
strange. It's a very strange calculation. So, in other words, what was being spoken of earlier is that in West Bengal, Humayun Kabir's move is as much a kind of communal polarization, communal consolidation effort as is the BJP's entire narrative on the Ghuspetia, the demographic change, how the infiltrators have
Let me
added
get Tushar Gupta also to weigh in on this, because that's a very interesting perspective that you've raised on this issue. You know, because Babar was an invader. Babar was not Indian. Is it just insensitive or downright divisive to construct a masjid in Bengal in the name of Babri, recreate fissures in society? The BJP says it cannot happen without state support, but there are those who say that ultimately this will only benefit either Humayun Kabir or the BJP, or can it also benefit the TMC, Tushar Gupta?
Good evening, Gaurav. Look, if you look at the West Bengal electoral dynamics, if I pick up the elections of 2019, 2021, even 2024 for that matter, the best case scenario for the BJP has always been attaining a 40% vote share. But
Yes.
interestingly, Mamata Banerjee starts with a vote share of 35 to 40% because she has successfully consolidated the minority vote. We may not like it, we may argue against it, but it cannot be denied that the TMC starts with a 35% vote share purely and purely because the minority or the second largest majority in Bengal will not vote for the BJP, and the Congress is not a force to be reckoned with any longer in Bengal. Now, if Humayun Kabir's antics are to be taken seriously, we are looking at a potential party which can cut through the TMC vote bank, the primary TMC vote bank. Now, if I look at the election of UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, even Rajasthan in the past, even Uttarakhand for that matter, I have realized that the second largest majority in India, it works en bloc. It works very
Yes.
strategically, Gaurav. Even Maharashtra, for that matter, in the assembly elections and the Lok Sabha elections, which were just 3 months apart, you had Muslims voting for different parties, but they were voting together for one party in a particular election. So in one seat, they were voting for the Congress in the Lok Sabha election, but in another assembly election, they were voting for some regional party, but all the vote, lock, stock, and barrel went to that one party. So if you're questioning that, will Humayun Kabir be able to cut through Mamata Banerjee's primary vote bank? I don't think so. And this is where Mohan Bhagwat's statement about unity of Hindus in Bengal becomes very, very important. You pick up the
Yes.
last 3-4 elections, it's always this 8 percentage point gap between the BJP and the TMC that becomes the deciding factor. A couple of percentages point here and there, and BJP is
So yeah,
totally off the mark
34,
as it happened.
42, yeah.
Yes. As it happened in 2024 also, though they had a respectable 38% vote share, but they
Correct.
lost 6 Lok Sabha seats compared to 2019. So at the end of the day, the Hindu vote that the BJP is unable to get in Bengal, that is the Achilles heel in their entire electoral campaign. And this is the bridge they really have to cross in the upcoming assembly polls. If they can do it, well and good. But if they're hoping for Humayun Kabir to break through the TMC vote bank, I would advise them against it.
Okay, because Monojit Mandal, Mamata Banerjee and the TMC want minorities to stand united. And they're saying so in as many words and claim Humayun Kabir and Asaduddin Owaisi of the AIMIM, as you also pointed out, they're being seen more as vote cutters. The BJP is trying to divide the Muslims. Is that the apprehension that the Muslim vote, if it gets divided, could mean trouble for the TMC?
Let us just assess the situation politically. I'm not talking about the legal issue. The matter went to the High Court. The High Court categorically stated that someone can build a mosque in a private land. The state can't do anything with that. That's the clear verdict from the High Court. Now look at the political situation here. When Jagannath Temple was being inaugurated and it was being built, look at the kind of narrative BJP ran. They again filed a PIL against inauguration of Jagannath Temple, saying that this was Mamata's own, this was taken from the state exchequer. But right now, there is not even a whisper. When there is a mosque being built, there is no political challenge to this. I want to see BJP challenging this mosque the way they challenged Jagannath Temple in Digha, which is now become one of the vibrant tourist spots in the country. Look at the footfalls after the inauguration of Jagannath Temple in Digha in the last 1 year. BJP, there is no political whisper. As it were, they are pandering to this mosque being built up. Why?
Okay.
Because they want polarization. Because they want the votes to be divided. But people of Bengal, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, irrespective of their religion, they know that they vote only for development. BJP tried their best in the last 7-8 years.
Mamata Banerjee wants Muslims to stand united. Okay, Mamata Banerjee wants Muslims to stay united. Mohan Bhagwat wants Hindus to stand united. So is the polarization already happening on communal lines in Bengal?
Gaurav, I have a very simple question to ask Mr. Monojit Mandal over here. Should Babri Masjid be made or not? Yes or no? Can he please answer me? I will continue after that.
Simply,
Mr. Monerji,
no, 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 and no.
then why are you
Simply
setting
no.
in support? Why have you not arrested that man? So many people are
How can you do
collecting
that?
over there.
How
Of
can you
course,
do
if
that?
someone
He
is
has
making,
been
if
given the
Mr.
clean
Mandal,
chit
I
by
didn't
the
speak
High
over
Court.
you. Let me complete. Let me
What do you
complete.
want? You
If
wanted
a
me to
man,
answer.
let me complete. Let me
I
complete. Let me
clarified.
complete, Mr. Mandal. Let me complete. I asked you a question. You gave me a reply. If you believe, like I do and like my party does, that Babri Masjid should not be made, what is stopping Mamata Banerjee ji to arrest that man? You took weeks to first throw him out of your party. First, you checked the temperature. कि इससे क्या असर हो रहा है? Is this going to affect or help her politically or not? Then you waited for that, and then after that you took action against her. Second, if he is trying to create communal tension, she has every right and authority to put a stop to making that. Let me complete. You can answer after that. You spoke well before me. She has every right and authority as the chief minister and home minister of the state to go on and arrest him and stop that masjid from being made if it's going to disrupt the communal harmony of the state. But no, she wants that to be made because she wants communal harmony to be disrupted, the same way that she wants to stand as a protector of the Rohingyas and of the Bangladeshis who have crossed over.
Ma'am,
That
you've
is
made
a
a point.
fact.
Okay, Mr. Mandal wants to respond. Go ahead,
Probably
sir.
she did not listen to my argument. Legally, there was a case filed. The court has clearly stated someone is building a mosque on his private land.
So the
Cannot
court
be
will say
interfered
if
with.
communal
Hang
harmony
on
is
now.
being
Now you're
threatened,
listening.
let's
Now.
continue
Ma'am,
it.
let him complete his
Are you
point.
saying court will be agreeable to that?
He can name it Babri. He can name it Akbari.
Did you go
he
and
can
put
name
your
it
stand in court?
Aurangzeb.
Did the government
Hang
of West
on.
Bengal
What is
say this in
He
court
can
that
name
this
it
is
Babri. He
disrupting
can name
communal
it
Ma'am, let him
Akbari.
harmony?
He
complete
can
his
name it
point. Let him
Did
Aurangzeb.
complete
your
his point.
government say this in court?
Look at her.
Did
Look at
Mamata
her.
Banerjee say
Now
this in
listen to
court?
the answer. What is your problem?
Have
Don't be
you
so
given this in court in writing
I'm
that
giving
this
you
will
the
disrupt
answer.
communal harmony
Have
and
the
it should
guts
not
to
be
listen to
made?
the answer.
Please show me
If
a
he
paper where
names it
Mamata
Babri,
One
Banerjee
by
says
one.
that it should not be made.
We are very sure that would not disturb the communal harmony in this country or the state, not the country, in the state. It will not. But
Has
I am
Mamata
asking a
Banerjee
specific,
gone and
hang
told
on.
the court
I
that
have
no,
asked a
we believe
specific
it should not be
question.
made?
Why
Does she believe the
you
same views
investigate
as
into
you
the
do?
sources
Show
of
me the
funds?
papers. Show
How
me the
does this
papers.
person getting the funds? How much money is
You are
floating in the
exposed,
air?
Mr.
10
Mandal.
crores
It
per
is
name.
the
And please,
Babri Masjid is
that
a
is why you can
creation
arrest
of
this
Mamata
man.
Banerjee as a
That is why
last
you can arrest
resort
the
to
man. Someone is
maintain
building
her
a
chief
temple.
ministership.
Someone is building a
It is a
mosque.
last
You
resort
can
that you have
challenge him
people gone
morally,
to.
politically, but legally you cannot challenge him
Have you
because the High
gone
Court has
to
given him
court?
the verdict.
Have you
No,
gone to
One by
you
court?
can
one.
have, but
Have you
I am
said
asking
this
you,
in court?
why don't you
Has the
inquire into
Mamata
the sources
Banerjee
of his
government gone
fund?
to
I
court saying
challenge
that
you.
this
One by
can
one.
disrupt
One by one.
the
Please
Okay.
communal
do that.
harmony?
Challenge.
Okay, let's bring
challenge
down
BJP.
temperatures for a moment. Let's bring down
BJP.
temperatures for a
Please.
moment. Shikha
Yes.
Mukherjee, if the AIMIM and Humayun Kabir, as all indications are to formally tie up, as reports seem to indicate, does that spell trouble for Mamata Banerjee in places like Malda, Murshidabad, Birbhum, or north and south Dinajpur, or even some places in South
year
Bengal?
also completely unsuccessful. They tried it last time also in 2021. Completely unsuccessful.
Okay, Ms. Mukherjee.
Yeah, well, if it actually happens, and the campaign actually reaches a point. I mean, there are so many ifs and ifs along the way. I mean, the campaign has to pick up some kind of momentum for for a Muslim vote bank, which has over the years tended to align with the ruling party.
Yes.
This is something that we have seen. It aligned with a large proportion of the Muslim votes aligned with the CPM. Then before that, it used to vote with the Congress, and
Yes.
these votes have shifted depending on who is the ruling party. Now, why would a Muslim population in West Bengal, which feels itself to be in a precarious situation, want to vote with a Humayun Kabir who's not likely to make it to power, with AIMIM who is also not likely to make it to power, and quit its, and so they will weigh up the risks and the benefits, and we will see how it progresses. Number one,
because this
and
logic
number two,
actually failed in Bihar.
Gaurav, I have a small question for the person from the BJP, or rather a point of information which
Go
may soothe her very overcharged sentiments, which is that there are two Ayodhya temple replicas coming up in West Bengal. on the day that you had the Babri Masjid foundation stone being laid, there was another temple stone that was being laid, and that was for an Ayodhya Ram temple replica. And this is the second time over that it has happened. Therefore, this polarization and both the locations of all these three new places of worship are Murshidabad. So apparently, it is Murshidabad where the entire drama is going to play out, and
Yes.
then the anticipation is that there will be a ripple effect. I think this is all
And
nonsense.
hence that question
Not going to
on
happen.
Malda, Murshidabad, South Kolkata. I'll take that to Tushar in just a moment. But Radhika, you want to quickly respond to that?
Gaurav, because of the audio, I could not hear a word of what she was saying.
So, Ms. Mukherjee said that there are two replicas of the Divya Bhavya Ram temple that are also coming up in Murshidabad. So, if that's, good, why is the Babri Masjid bad? Perhaps is the
Well,
indication.
I don't
or
know.
is the
She's a
question.
very senior journalist, and I'm sure she has read about Babar much more than I have. She's been on this earth for many more years than I have. And I'm sure that she knows that Babar was an invader who
That's a
raped
very
our women,
ageist,
who
very
created havoc in the
ageist
country, looted the
comment.
country. He ensured that religion was converted, and all the drama that he did. He was an invader who destroyed
Okay.
Indian Sanskriti and our religion. And if she is okay with his Babri Masjid being made, then Lord save the country.
Can I come in?
Absolutely. And they were comparing that to
Okay.
Lord Rama's Mandir is very unfortunate for anyone who's
Can I
well
come in? Can I come
educated
in? Can I
to
come
know
in?
the difference between
Yes, can I
Babri
quickly
and
bring in
Babar
Tushar
and
and then I'm coming to you, sir.
Comparing Babar
Tushar,
and Ram
TMC
is
says
very
Humayun
poor.
Kabir is an agent of the BJP. Though Shahnawaz Hussain sees Humayun Kabir as an agent of the TMC, working
He's
at TMC's
MLA
behest.
of the
Now,
TMC.
You know, the
a
point, the
suspended.
interesting No, no,
Yes,
Gaurav,
go
the
on.
interesting thing is Humayun Kabir is an agent of nobody. He might be playing double sides, but he's benefiting none. Look, West Bengal is different. People don't realize it's a state with two majorities. Normally, we are always dealing with one majority and another minority in every state. But West Bengal is two majorities. One majority that works en bloc towards the TMC, and one majority that is still not gravitating towards the BJP. So whatever Humayun Kabir does, until the first majority, the Hindus, do not go towards the BJP, the election will swing Mamata Banerjee's way. And again, it needs to be emphasized, Muslims tend to work lock, stock and barrel. They understand where their vote is getting divided and they do not fall for it. That's about it.
Okay, so let's see which way the voters, decide and vote, and we'll be tracking that story very closely. I want to thank all my guests. Big breaking story that's coming in from Bangladesh. It's a political bombshell in the instances of youth leaders being targeted in Bangladesh, especially Sharif Hadi, a senior leader of Bangladesh Nationalist Party or the BNP, has said Hadi's shooting was linked to the Jamaat in Bangladesh and that the shooter was bailed out twice before the murder. BNP veteran Nilofer Chaudhry Moni claims that a senior Jamaat-e-Islami leader and a lawyer, Shishir Manir, secured bail for the accused just months before the killing. There's also a money trail, massive money trail that's being talked about, and money that was transferred from one bank account to the other that is currently under investigation. So, was the killer being protected inside Bangladesh? Is there a Jamaat linked to the killer, and is India being blamed because of vested interests in Bangladesh? Was there political shielding, the regime shielding the killer? And is there a larger internal conspiracy in Bangladesh? We are not saying so. We're just getting you voices from within Bangladesh and an opposition leader in Bangladesh, not the Awami League. Not the Awami League that Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has already banned. He's banned their political activities, but the opposition BNP and a very senior leader of the BNP indicating that India is being scapegoated to deflect attention from very uncomfortable questions within Bangladesh. And these are very explosive claims that were made on live television by a BNP leader. And this raises serious doubts about, one, who planned Hadi's killing, who's shielding the killers, and why is India being scapegoated. More breaking news coming in from Bangladesh. Sources are telling India Today that the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi has suspended consular service and visa issuance until further notice. They're saying it's due to unforeseen circumstances. No official statement has been released just as yet, but we are being told through sources that visa services and consular access remain suspended. It remains on hold for now. It's a temporary measure. Also, visa and consular services at Bangladesh's Assistant High Commission in Agartala has also been suspended, and this suspension comes into effect starting tomorrow morning, but no end date has been announced just as yet. So it just appears that when voices within Bangladesh are pointing towards an internal hand about a Jamaat-e-Islami role, Bangladesh establishment, the regime of Muhammad Yunus is desperately trying to deflect pressure, desperately trying to blame India by hook or by crook. Their own investigations has nothing concrete on Indian hand, and their police officers have gone on record on camera to say so, and yet the regime wants to blame India and fan anti-India hatred. What is it leading to? A Hindu man, Deepu Das, was lynched by a mob. He was taken out of his factory, he was beaten up, he was hung from a tree, he was lynched and then set on fire. Now another youth leader, now what we are being told is after Hadi, another youth leader, Motalib Sikdar, now he's of the National Citizen Party, he too in the run-up to elections has been shot in the head like Sharif Hadi. As violence escalates, the situation in Bangladesh remains extremely precarious. And amidst this growing unrest, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has launched her sharpest attack yet on Muhammad Yunus and the regime that he heads, accusing the regime of failing to control the violence and protect minorities. Indications in Bangladesh are all this is being done because Muhammad Yunus wants to remain as the president or the head of the government and not hold elections. Sheikh Hasina has said Muhammad Yunus-led administration is either powerless or unwilling to maintain law and order. We bring you more in this report.
Bangladesh is on the edge of anarchy, ahead of upcoming elections in February. After Osman Hadi's killing that unleashed a wave of violence last week, now another youth leader, Motalib Sikdar of the National Citizens Party, is shot in the head. Motalib Sikdar, who had taken part in protests that led to Sheikh Hasina's ouster, is critical and undergoing treatment in the hospital. The attempt on Sikdar's life comes even as the country grapples with violence by Islamist extremists who targeted an Indian mission in Chittagong, media outlets, cultural center in Dhaka, and lynched a Hindu man in Mymensingh. On Monday, several Hindu organizations held protest against the lynching of Deepu Das. India Today's reporters visited Mymensingh, where Deepu Das was dragged from his workplace and beaten to death by a mob.
I'm in the Mymensingh area. I remember the Mymensingh where exactly Deepu Das was lynched by the mob. He was burned in a square at a public place. 10 people have been arrested, including the floor manager of his company. So Mymensingh looks like mostly the industrial area. He was dragged out from this gate. Eventually, we have seen those visuals. The mob was coming in a huge number. He was dragged out of this gate and they took him, the beating up to death, and they took him nearby to the chalk where he was burned. The incident that shocked the whole world. So ये वो पेड़ है मेमनसिंह में जहाँ पर दीपू दास को लाया गया था और यहाँ जला दिया गया था. इसी पेड़ पर दीपू दास को बांधा गया था. ऊपर की पत्तियां जली दिखाई दे रही हैं. नीचे के अवशेष साफ कर दिए गए हैं. अब से थोड़ी देर पहले यहाँ पर जो ढाका पुलिस है और इसी के साथ जो वोकला पुलिस है, वोलुका पुलिस, उसकी डिटेक्टिव ब्रांच आई थी जांच के लिए. इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है.
Deepu's family is demanding capital punishment for the accused.
তো তোমরা কি বিচার পাবে মনে হয় যা পরিস্থিতি এখন বাংলাদেশে?
আমরা বিচার চাই দাদা, আর কিছু চাই না. আমার ভাইয়ের হত্যা করে যারা হত্যা করছে আমার ভাইয়ের কিছু সবাই, ঠিক আছে, তাদের আমি ফাঁসি চাই. আমি আর কিছু চাই না.
As Bangladesh Chief Economic Advisor Muhammad Yunus struggles to keep his house in order, former PM Sheikh Hasina has hit out at the regime. Hasina, who has taken shelter in India, has criticized the Yunus government over its failure to control the violence and protect minorities. Hasina claimed that Yunus was powerless to stop the attacks on diplomatic missions. She accused Yunus government of giving immunity to hooligans. As the situation in Bangladesh remains tense, India is keeping a watch on every development in its backyard. Bureau Report, India Today.
And India Today's Ashutosh Mishra now joins me from the heart of the action in Bangladesh. Ashutosh, what's the situation right now? There are reports of multiple protests, but is the security situation improving?
Well, what it looked like for today onwards, probably the situation will calm down, cool down, and potentially that fueling that we have seen in Bangladesh would at least settle in a couple of days. But immediately afternoon, we heard the shootout on another student leader, the NCP leader in Khulna district. Another was shot. He's struggling with life in the hospital where he's being treated. But at the same time, a lot of things that are raising question on the Yunus administration, particularly about the shootout that happened with the Hadi. Then we have the mob violence, then we have the mob lynching case of minorities and the lawlessness, the media being attacked. So all square, if you see, there are only protests happening. At press club outside, we have seen the religious group, the Hindu minorities group, were protesting, demanding justice for Deepu Das. Then in the afternoon, we see in the media news network, the newspaper owner association were marching at the Daily Star office against the mob that burned down the two media houses. Their buildings burned down. People were literally, the journalists were on the threat of dying. At the same time, the lawlessness, the shootouts happening, the mob lynching, Deepu Das. So all these that's happening under the nose of Dr. Yunus administration. And in the while, when we see there is a model code of conduct imposed. So all having said, while the entire government is busy for the arrival of Mr. Tariq Urziar Rahman, the BNP leader who's coming on 25th of January. So all this preparation seems to be focus is shifting towards that when it comes to handling the law and order. Remember the Hadi shooter, Masood, who has been identified, the lookout notice has been known while the investigation CID found around 67 crore rupees in his bank account. That is also being seen. But all this having
because
said,
apparently crores were transferred into that account and lakhs were moved around according to some reports. But explain this to me. You mentioned Deepu Das, the Hindu who was dragged out of the factory, beaten up, stripped, lynched, and then set on fire. Are his family members safe? Are Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh feeling safe? Explain this rise of radical Islamism or radical Islamists in Bangladesh suddenly.
Well, this morning I tried to go to the Mymensingh area that in the Voluka district. It was very risky. The area is known for the bastion for the several fundamentalists and radical elements. Eventually, those were the elements who lynched only for a rumor. Remember, even the police, the Voluka police, which is investigating the case, that they could not find any trace, any evidence, any statement that explains that if at all Deepu Das made several, or any such kind of statement, blaspheming statement. So the police is clueless. They have recorded a statement when I was there at the factory, right outside the factory. The CID police and the detective branch of Voluka police were investigating, the forensics being done, the statements being recorded. We also saw the place, literally, I have gone through where he was burned down, or he was hanged to a tree, he was burned down by the mob, and all the shops were open. They could see potentially, but when we tried to speak clearly, the fear was visible on people's face. In fact, I also tried to reach to the village of Deepu Das, but we were advised not to. So clearly, the family members are on back foot. The Hindu groups are demanding justice for Deepu Das. The family members, they remain in fear and trauma. One could imagine what could be the situation of a family who lost their loved one, who lost a son in a mob lynching case. So while the investigation begins, the government, all the machineries are condemning. But at the same time, so far arrest is concerned, 12 arrests have been made and more people are being identified through those videos that surface. But serious questions on the lawlessness and the mob violence that is unfolding in Bangladesh, not from today, not from yesterday, but since the July uprising that we have seen across Bangladesh.
Ashutosh, stay safe. Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more from Bangladesh. I want to shift focus and take you quickly to Himachal Pradesh because a very disturbing image has emerged from a hospital in Himachal Pradesh. This is the Indira Gandhi Medical College in Shimla. There's a video that's gone viral online that shows an assault by a doctor assaulting a patient. Look at these images. These images have gone absolutely viral. Now the patient, Arjun Pawar, look at this, look at this, look at the manner in which the doctor is beating up a patient who'd gone to hospital for an endoscopy. So after the procedure was completed, the patient claimed that he had breathing difficulty and he lay down on a bed in another ward. And this was when there was an argument between him and the doctor on duty. Family members claim that the doctor was very rude. He physically assaulted the patient. In fact, watch these images. They caught it on camera and this has gone absolutely viral. A doctor is supposed to heal. Is this how doctors in Himachal Pradesh think that they will behave? That too in a government hospital. Listen in to what the patient said.
मुझे ऑक्सीजन में दिक्कत हो रही थी, तो जैसे ही मैं बेड पे आया तो मैंने नर्स को बोला कि मुझे ऑक्सीजन लगा दो। उसके बाद डॉक्टर साहब आते हैं, डॉक्टर साहब बोलते हैं कि तू कब से एडमिट है यहाँ पे। मैंने कहा डॉक्टर साहब अभी ब्रोंकोस्कोपी हुई है। मैंने कहा भाई आपसे तहजीब से बात कर रहा हूँ, ये तू क्या होता है, तू करके बात करे डॉक्टर साहब। बोले तू तो तू होता है। तो इस बात पे ही बोलते हैं कि भाई मैं आपसे तहजीब से बात कर रहा हूँ, आप मुझसे तहजीब से, मेरी एक्सेप्टेशन रखता हूँ कि आप मुझे तहजीब से बात करें। बोलते तो क्या कर लूँगा फिर। मैंने बोल दिया कि आप क्या घर में भी अपने परिवार में ऐसे ही बात करते हैं, जिस पे डॉक्टर साहब बोलते हैं कि आप मेरी फैमिली पे आ गए, आप बहुत पर्सनल हो गए हो, और उन्होंने मारना शुरू कर दिया।
जो भी अप्रोप्रिएट एक्शन होगा किसी भी से, हम वो उस हिसाब से लेंगे। हाँ, ये हमें ज्ञात हुआ है कि उन्होंने एफआईआर की है। हमने पुलिस को भी आग्रह किया है कि वो अपनी कार्रवाई तत्परता से कर ले।
Well, the police have initiated an investigation and we will track that story, but that is all I have for you on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.